Good afternoon. I am Lourdes Ramirez Wright, and I am speaking to you from my backyard in Mississippi, and it is such gorgeous weather that I decided just to come outside and speak with you instead of from my regular gym. I hope everybody had a great weekend. One important issue that I wanted to discuss on this particular video of YouTube is that the issue of the origin of CPTSD. And that is that we as adults really need to do a good job, I think, to teach children or small ones that amongst any profession, there are members of that group who can harm others and who are not nice, kind people. In other words, there are some professions that a lot of people in society like to elevate and put on a pedestal. Just to name a few, or just to name a number of them, I can think of church leaders and priests. I can think of medical doctors, military personnel, firefighters, and mothers, fathers. There are just so many members of our society who enjoy this status of immunity almost. And it's like you're supposed to put them on a pedestal and never question or ask about what they say or what they do, because it's almost like society says what they say or do is the law. Well, whoever has been feeding you that has been lying, right? Because all you have to do is turn on the news or read the newspaper, or maybe just Google it. Amongst church leaders and priests and teachers and mothers and fathers and nurses and medical doctors and people you don't want to think about as having done wrong, have done wrong, beyond wrong. Sometimes they have committed the most horrendous crimes in humankind, in society, right? So we as adults really do not need to be placing a blanket over an entire group of people or an entire profession, because I think that is actually a disservice to the younger generation, but also to us. I don't think it is our purpose. I don't think we were put on this earth to worship or admire other human beings, because all of those people I mentioned on the list, they're people just like you and me. On the contrary, sometimes they do very, very bad things. And we need to let the young ones know that when they find themselves in a precarious situation, or they have an emergency, or they need help, they need to think a little bit and say, do I trust this person? Just because the person is wearing an uniform does not make that person suited, or does not make that person a good, helpful person. I think we need to maybe spend a little bit more time with the younger generation, with children and teenagers, so that they can discern and they can differentiate and distinguish on their own. Because God forbid, they might find themselves in a bad situation or in an emergency. Hopefully, they go to the right person. The reason I'm bringing this up is because sometimes they are the ones that cause the complex PTSD on children. Unfortunately, sometimes it is that priest at the church. Sometimes it is that teacher at that school. Sometimes it is that medical doctor that trespassed the boundaries when the person was under anesthesia. Sometimes it was that firefighter. Sometimes it was that police officer who committed the crime, right? So for that reason, we have to become more aware of the things we are teaching those who come after us, because kids are very impressionable and they're like sponges. They absorb everything we teach them, everything we say. They're just, their brains are like absorbing all of that information, and they just don't have the maturity level to discern and to distinguish badness from goodness. So hopefully we as adults are doing our part. Come back next week and I will have a new YouTube video for you. I hope everyone had a super weekend, and remember, the world is a better place because you are in it.